For most people, companies that produce plastic or non-biodegradable products are considered the only ones responsible for climate change and pollution. But what about the people who buy their products? Aren't they responsible too? All we know is that the world would be a safer place if all businesses became fully aware of their impacts on the environment. Unfortunately, from all the world's companies, only a small portion provide eco-friendly products, while the rest do not control their carbon dioxide emissions or implement any kind of recycling programs to reduce their amount of waste. On the other hand, the average consumer is usually not aware of the environmental impacts of most of the products they purchase. To address this issue, I decided to create a business that promotes the use of natural products within the tennis industry. This is meant to spread awareness about the consequences of certain plastic products that many people are not aware of. But why did I choose this to be my project idea? Well, from all the tennis strings that are manufactured worldwide, 95% of them are made with a type of plastic that cannot be recycled or biodegraded. It is called nylon. The creation of nylon releases nitrous oxide, a greenhouse gas that is about 300 times more dangerous than carbon dioxide. This type of plastic is very strong and flexible and guarantees long durability. Besides being an ideal material for a tennis string, nylon is very cheap, making synthetic strings accessible to almost everyone. Despite being very harmful, people like me never get informed about the negative impacts it has on the environment. So, as I said, the main goal of my business is to inform people about the reality of nylon and incentivizing the use of eco-friendly strings that offer about the same sensation while hitting the ball. For example, I played tennis from a very young age, but never imagined that I would have been contributing to climate change and global pollution every time I changed the strings of my racket. So I came up with the idea of creating a business where people could get informed about this issue while purchasing natural strings made with bamboo and graphite. First of all, I knew that it will result too expensive if my company gathered the raw materials by itself, so I decided to work with another two companies that are supposed to provide the bamboo and the graphite filaments for us at a very low price. In Colombia, the vast majority of racket strings are imported from the US because only a few local companies manufacture this kind of product. This is because competition is very low in such poor places like Colombia, and tennis is way more popular in more developed countries. In effect, most people seem forced to buy imported strings, which are way more expensive. So, as a Colombian company, our products are much cheaper compared to the competition because we don't have to pay any kind of taxes to sell our products in Colombian territory. Besides having an efficient recycling program, my company, named BioStrings, is meant to operate with clean energy. As I mentioned, BioStrings is meant to save lots of money by avoiding the cost of transportation of bringing the raw materials to our manufacturing facility. One of these businesses makes furniture with bamboo, and our company buys two guava bamboos at 50,000 pesos per log. Meanwhile, the other two manufactures and sell synthetic and composite graphite or carbon fibers. We buy 15 of them for 130,000 pesos each. Any customer that breaks one of our strings while playing can bring them to one of our shops. These strings are later sold at a low price to another two companies that manufacture tennis equipment with the use of our old materials. Besides being a Colombian business, BioStrings was meant to be formed around 2012, having a total of four premises. The two main principal stores, including the manufacturing facility, are located in Medellin. The other two are in Cali and Bogota. The company's stores are meant to be located in some of the most competitive and commercial cities. Also, the company's two major clients are those who sell the tennis equipment in private clubs and the ones who belong to the high class society, mainly because rich people are most likely to be informed about the consequences of plastic. My project is meant to have an online website that promotes our products in an efficient way. Besides the revenue generated from the official stores, the company will improve its sales by offering an opportunity to purchase online. Also, people can get informed about our main goals and background information while browsing through the website. Apart from the online site, BioStrings would have a larger audience and generate more income if it ran advertisements on YouTube. Besides being a popular site, YouTube is the ideal form of advertisement, knowing it is not as expensive as other older methods. Furthermore, the internet is a very good option now that almost everyone has access to it. Also, I understood that the average economic income of a Colombian citizen is pretty low. That is why I chose to locate the stores in some of the most luxurious places so people could actually afford to buy our products. In addition, our products are principally meant for amateur players who are committed to taking responsibility in regards to Earth's preservation. At the beginning, the company knew that it wouldn't be able to survive in the next few years if it addressed its products to the professional tennis players. During the first stages of the project, I had too much trouble trying to find the correct materials to use for my strings, but after many research, I discovered that bamboo and graphite combined together form a material very similar to nylon. Since my strings have various characteristics, it was very challenging to put competitive prices compared with my company's rivals, knowing that many of the big tennis brands like Wilson or Babolat have a very high production rate. My strings have a typical length of 200 meters, which is the average measure for a real string meant to be for a tennis racket. Usually, a male professional tennis player breaks the strings of his racket once per training session. This implies that strings are very sensible and delicate, forcing the player to replace strings very often. With this being said, my company's products guarantee a long life to avoid any excess of waste. To conclude, all I wanted was to make a difference in the way people see the sport, making them see the reality of tennis. This initiative is meant to be designed as a solution for many environmental problems that in the long term, if businesses do not address them correctly, the world would become a very dangerous place. Big corporations should leave monetary dreams aside and focus on the important stuff, the conservation of our planet. Lastly, as mentioned earlier, companies should definitely use renewable sources as their only energy supply to avoid air pollution. We all know that air contamination is a global issue that increases climate change and health risks, including businesses who need to provide natural products and avoid global waste.